Hello to our viewers. Once again, we meet up. We are going to be continuing our Sacred Cows series where we talk about secular and Christian things that are just so taboo that how dare we bring up those
Yes.
things? We
Yes.
titled this video, I think it was Moses's Lost Tablets, God's Playlist. And what do we
Yeah.
mean by that? What were we
We
trying to
mean we
convey?
mean we are freaking funny, dude. That's what we mean.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, Moses, of course, holding the tablets with the Ten Commandments.
Mm-hmm.
And when we talk about tablet today, of course, it's not a tablet of stone. It's a tablet you can use for hook it up to the internet, listen to
iPad.
music, blah blah blah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when we say God's playlist, we're just making a joke.
Mm-hmm.
We are not trying to say, yes, God is jamming to Black Sabbath.
Right.
We're not saying that. We're saying this.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't a Christian enjoy some secular music?
Mm.
Okay. Is it really going to stunt our spiritual growth? I
Mm-hmm.
don't think so. I think if you're a baby Christian and it is a stumbling block, it's something you might want to look into. But so we made up our own little list of what we think God would have on his playlist. So there's
Yeah.
our own personal preferences, but we're saying this all in jest. We're being funny, but we are going to talk about how we both believe we can appreciate an art form
Mm.
without falling into sin.
Yeah. I think the question is, the main question is, look, you're a Christian. You shouldn't be listening to that because it's of the devil. Everything is of the devil when you're a new Christian. And this is a lot of the reason
Mhm.
why people fall away from the faith because they think it's a list of rules that they're supposed
Yeah,
to do, supposed not to do. And frankly, me
right.
being honest, I'll be honest. A lot of Christian music is lame. And that's,
Thank you.
I'm sorry, it's
Mm-hmm.
corny. We don't
Mm-hmm.
have to live in that kind of bubble where we're just, South Park made fun of it. And it is that cheesy. It is. It's okay to say that. It's
Yeah.
not like
I mean,
we're not
but
blaspheming God by saying some Christian music
right.
is it sucks. I'm sorry.
That
Right?
doesn't mean we don't like any Christian music. I love Chris Tomlin, DC Talk,
Mm-hmm.
Toby Mac,
Right.
Nicole Mullins. There's a lot of Christian
I
artists
like
I really, really
Jeremy
like.
Camp.
Jeremy
Jeremy
Camp.
Camp's pretty
Hmm.
good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
Oh.
when it kind of feels like unless you're playing Christian worship music, because a lot of people don't even think you should have Christian rock and roll.
Yeah.
If you're not playing Christian worship music, you're just not walking in the spirit. It's like, really,
Yes, and then
seriously?
the attitude they have towards you is to just unplug, stop listening completely. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they say that you're supposed to and you have to find Christian worship music that is rooted in Scripture. Now, I think that the atheist, the pantheist, all of them, I think they're all created in image of God. I all think we have art forms that we can convey that aren't necessarily always scripturally based, but can still tie in the secular world in with the believing world. Because if we don't understand the culture, Paul knew this. Paul's talking to the
Yeah.
culture of his time. If he came there just smacking them in the face with a Septuagint, they wouldn't want to hear. They want to know that
Right.
you're relatable to them. You can step in their world. Not that you
Mm-hmm.
are in their world, but you're not stumbling. You're not forced to say, "Oh, I have to take these ideas. I have to
Mm-hmm.
listen to the lyrics and respect this person's views and all that." You can write. You
Right.
can definitely see what's Christian and what's not Christian in secular music.
Well, not only that, you make a good point that we're all created in God's image. So,
Mm-hmm.
does that mean God cannot inspire someone to make a beautiful painting,
Mm-hmm.
a symphony, even a rock song that is just so beautifully conducted?
Mm-hmm.
Just because that person didn't say, "Hey, I made this in honor of the Lord Jesus Christ," then we can't find any value in it. I
Mm-hmm.
don't agree with
Mm-hmm.
that.
And before we even go into like the stuff we do listen to, because I know a lot of people are gonna be like, can't believe they listen to that, saying they're
Mm-hmm.
Christians and listen to that. But I think we can rightfully defend why we listen to them. We'll probably go into that. But
Mm-hmm.
it's the longest time for centuries, it was the actual instrumentation. What instruments where do we
Or
get
allowed.
the concept that if we're playing an electric guitar or we're beatboxing or we're doing turntables or heavy metal drums, that it's just not honoring to God and that it's forbidden.
because they get
Nowhere in
that.
scripture does it say that.
Well, it doesn't. You're
Right.
right. Because, of course, an electric guitar wasn't here thousands of years ago. But
Mm-hmm.
the scriptures in the Old Testament, God did, give specifics for worship music. Yes, there were harps and lyres and cymbals. There were certain instruments God said, hey, use these to worship me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, there was an electric guitar back then.
Mm-hmm.
If there was, would God have said, oh, no, you can't plug that baby in? Really? Come on.
Right.
So we're going back to the law again, like, well, it says right here in the scripture we have to praise the Lord with a harp. Really? Come on.
Mm-hmm. I
You know
think
what
so
I'm
too.
saying? Yeah.
And
So there's two categories we're looking at: worship music and then secular music.
worship music, yes. Hymns,
Right?
worship music, gospels.
So
So look, there's a lot
yeah,
of gospel out there I like.
yeah,
But
me too.
what's crazy, what's on my playlist, let's just go into it. You're gonna see
Okay.
stuff. You're gonna see stuff like a Metallica. Right after that, you're gonna see some gospel, or you might see a Megadeth song, a Pantera song, and then an
Well,
Eminem
you know
song,
what?
stuff like that. Why am I such blasphemous to have that kind of playlist?
Well, you're gonna laugh at me because I don't have one Christian song on my list. That doesn't
Well,
mean I don't listen to it.
maybe that's saying something to the Christian music industry, right?
I don't know. But how about you? So let's just tell our audience we came up with 10 songs in honor of the 10 commandments on the tablets. Again,
What
a little spoof there.
I didn't really make a list, but I can put a band or an artist on maybe his playlist.
Okay.
Who do you
Let's
think?
you start. You start with your one and I'll start with my one.
Okay, and that's the reason I think that he would be on these guys would be on God's playlist is because of the sheer talent. I think Tool is one of my top 10 favorite
I've
bands,
got
best
Tool in
bands.
my list too. Yep.
Okay, let's talk about them for a second. Let's talk about the
Right.
concept of Tool and maybe
Yes.
so the concept of Tool is very Gnostic. It's a very Gnostic theology behind Maynard's lyrics. I'm
Right.
well aware of this. I've been well aware of this for
Mm-hmm.
probably since I've been listening to him in the early 90s. Yes, the
Mm-hmm.
guy has a Gnostic message behind it.
Yep.
But what's funny is around that time when I first started listening to Tool, I wasn't a Christian, not fully. Over the years, I became a Christian, never stopped listening to Tool. So did Tool really have an impact of me falling away from my faith? Or
That's a good question.
did I really pursue God knowing that I can decipher between some concepts and what I'm talking about?
And we can take this with pretty much any list of rules that you find in churches. Some churches say women can't wear makeup because of First Peter, even though that has nothing to do with saying a woman can't wear makeup. The focus was don't let this be your concern, your outer appearance. Peter wasn't saying a woman can't wear makeup, but you got churches twisting that scripture. So you got women coming to church looking ugly and haggard because they can't put any makeup on. Okay. Then you've got some churches that forbid dancing. Why? Not sure. I mean, there's always a list. So these lists are what people think is what makes them holy. Didn't Paul say, taste not, touch not, you're not doing this, so you're more holy.
Yeah. And then let me before we can move on to the next artist. The way we listen to music is, did you want to say something?
Well, if I can just address Maynard's view of Christianity, I think that would say a lot.
Yeah.
Maynard, the lead singer of Tool, very talented man. I think he's extremely talented, and I love his voice. I loved him in Perfect Circle too. But Maynard was raised a Christian. His mother was a devout Christian, fully committed to her church. I don't know if you know all this, but listen to this. She went all the time, paid her tithe, but here's what happened. She got real sick, so she stopped going to church because she wasn't able to. Her whole church came against her.
Really?
Here's a woman with a very serious illness, and because she couldn't make it to the church, they turned their back on her. And Maynard said that was his decision, where he thought, I'm not so sure about this God and Jesus and church stuff.
Wow.
I find that sad.
So yeah, he had a bad experience with the church. Who doesn't? And then
Well,
we think that if we have a bad experience with the church, we think that's who God is. I'm turning away from God because of the church.
right. There's a
That's
balance. There's a
Mhm.
balance because I don't like when people say, who hasn't been hurt by the church? Get over it.
Right.
Guess what? Some wounds go deep and some people don't heal from that. So
Hmm.
I think we need to stop making it so flippant as,
Hmm.
oh, the church hurt you, big deal. It is a
Hmm.
big deal. It's a big deal to God.
Hmm.
Now, I do believe God can help us work past that and get healed and forgive, but I'm saying that it is a big deal when the church offends people and makes them turn away from the Lord. I'm sorry, I do think that's a big deal.
Hmm.
So,
Well, what I do get out of them, thank you, dear. My wife gave me a cookie, y'all. She's so sweet. Um, what I do get out of it, so what this band, I've been listening to it for a long time. The guys are mad talented. Okay,
yes.
the pure implementation of their instruments. What's cool about them is they're so unorthodox how they arrange songs. Usually have an intro, the main
Hmm.
verse, the chorus,
Hmm.
the second verse, then you go into a bridge, and then you do maybe a solo. You can do whatever. These guys, their time signatures are so unique, and you're trying to catch the
Hmm.
beat. Where is it they're at? And they'll build a little kind of loop in the beginning of the song and then build around that loop. So
Yeah.
if you ever listen to Tool, their instrumentation is just beyond anything that's in the industry right
Yes.
now, and they've survived for a quarter century in the
They're
industry. What
unique.
when they
They're
drop some,
unique.
that's what I love about them. And I don't
Hmm.
sit there and say what's the concepts behind Tool's music. I need to know what they have 46 and 2. It's a looking into the shadow self. I don't believe in all that.
Yeah.
And
Right.
me being an atheist a long time ago, and I listened to Tool. So
Hmm.
where's your argument when I've listened to Tool since I've been an atheist? I became a Christian, still listen
Hmm.
to Tool. So what does that
Yeah.
mean? It's going to draw me away from the faith, and I should be listening to worship music. You know what I mean?
Right. And it's funny you said 46 and 2. That is my song I put on my on God's playlist.
It's a great song.
It's an
It's a really
awesome
great
song.
song.
Yeah.
The drums, just the sound, the vibes. They have a awesome
Hmm.
vibes.
Now, granted, there are some songs of Tool where Maynard has a serious issue with
Hmm.
Christ. You
Hmm.
hear it in the lyrics, and I
Eulogy is a big one. Yeah,
eulogy.
eulogy.
I was just thinking that, and I thought, of course, don't come against my Lord and put him down. Yeah, I don't like that, but
Hmm.
I also look at is his point of view is where was Christ when my mom was going through all this in the
Hmm.
church, so I understand his issue with the Lord,
Hmm.
okay? And I'm not saying I agree with it, but I think that's where we can open a dialogue up with unbelievers. Why do you have this issue instead of
Hmm.
slamming it shut, going, I don't want to hear it, you're wrong. You know what?
Hmm.
God expects us to reason with people about our faith.
I think the
And if
friendly.
I was just,
Go ahead. No,
mhm.
go ahead. Finish up.
I was just gonna say, if I ever had an opportunity to sit down with Maynard,
Hmm.
I would most definitely love to hear his point of view on
Right.
God and how he feels like God let him and his mom down. And I would
Hmm.
listen to this man. I
Right.
wouldn't be like, well, you're an idiot, you're bitter, the devil's got you. Come on. We always hear that
Hmm.
we gotta win souls, but the Bible says it takes wisdom
Hmm.
to win a soul.
So yeah, when it comes to that song Eulogy, where he is bashing Christ, my personal conviction for that song is I don't listen to it no more, honestly. I'm not gonna. If there's another Christian who likes that song, I'm not gonna bash them. That's just insane to say. Look, you're honoring and you're uplifting this guy's rejection of Christ. I don't see that. I personally was convicted to not listen to the song, even though it's a great song. The
Yeah,
beginning, the intro is very melodic, and it kind of suck. They suck you in the first 20 seconds because you just kind of get taken
yeah,
into their world. But me
yeah.
knowing the concept behind that song, I can skip that song, but there's other Tool songs that I
Hmm.
like. And I think
Hmm.
that's being that's being respectful to yourself or to your faith, and saying you
Yeah.
look, and you're not totally cutting things off and say, oh, it's all evil, because the world is not all evil. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Well, when I listen to Eulogy, which I haven't in a while,
Hmm.
but the music is killer in that song.
Hmm.
When I hear the words, he had a lot to say. I'm just picturing some idiot I don't listen to. I'm
Hmm.
not picturing
Hmm.
Jesus. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So
Hmm. But
anyway,
do I think God respects and appreciates the talent of Tool? Yes, I do. Do I think he
I do too.
agrees with? Does he think they're lost? Of course. Do Christians think that
Yeah, of course he
Maynard's
does.
lost? But here's the thing:
Right.
it's a band of four. I don't think all the members are totally in agreement with what Maynard's saying anyway. So when I hear Tool's lyrics, I mainly hear the front man. I'm not hearing, I don't think the
Yes.
basses, he's not speaking for the basses. He's not speaking for the drummer because
Right.
maybe the drummer has a different point of view.
Right.
Bands are different than single artists. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. That's a great point. Yeah.
So what band or song do you think would be on the list?
Okay. Number one.
Number one, of course. We
And
all
let
know.
me
Let's
let me
show.
shop.
Let's show first. There we go.
Led Zeppelin shirt.
There it is.
Okay. Loved them since I was 13. So my first song on God's playlist. Now, of course, you would assume I'm going to put Stairway, but
Mhm.
it's overplayed. God's sick of it. So we
I
got
love Stairway.
I do too. We've got Kashmir.
Mm.
Kashmir by Led Zeppelin.
Ba-da-da, ba-da-da,
Da-da-da.
ba-da-da. Great song.
Oh, let the sun beat down
And
upon my face.
might I add, not the Puff Daddy remix.
Thank you.
That was
Jimmy
a horrible.
Jimmy made a bad decision, but I'll forget. Oh, and speaking of Led Zeppelin,
Yeah.
let's talk about Led Zeppelin.
Let's talk about them.
Yes, we understand Jimmy Page was interested in Aleister Crowley. He was a complete idiot. Jimmy Page also was hooking up with the 14-year-old. So, I don't support that.
Yeesh, yeah.
But
When did this happen?
In the 70s.
Mm.
This was very acceptable. David Bowie, Mick Jagger, they all had underage girls. I'm not saying it's okay. No. So what I'm saying is, I think Jimmy Page is the greatest guitarist ever, but I do not agree with his worldview, his interest in Aleister Crowley. These are people that don't know God, so they're going to act however.
Mm-hmm.
But I can appreciate the talent of this band. I had listened to this band for over 40 years, dude, and I am not sick of them. That's insane. So, yeah, I think Kashmir's up there.
I think Zeppelin as a whole has been a big influence, obviously a major influence on metal, hard rock, rock and roll in general. They were implementing new sounds, new styles, insane musicianship from all of them.
Yeah.
Robert Plant's vocals, they weren't, no bands that were out when they came out of this time had the delivery they had. And they sustained it for a long time.
Mean, if you listen to their first CD, dude, I mean, they are just blowing it up. It's like, wait a minute, you didn't hear stuff like that. And I think every song on that first CD is killer. I mean, that's your brand new band's first CD. The only other, I know there's other bands that have, I would have to say Linkin Park's first CD was killer.
Linkin Park was
song.
Good.
Oh my gosh, that first CD, dude, loved
that was a good one. That was a good album.
And I want to say one last thing about Zeppelin. They have a song called Houses of the Holy. And I made the decision in 97 not only to divorce your dad because you know everything we went through, and to also leave a cult. This church turned into a cult that I was a member of for 13 years. So I decided to pretty much uproot my life. I handled my marriage anymore after 15 years. I know I tried. And then when I decided to leave the church, that was hard because that was my whole world. You know how much we were in church. Yeah. And I was driving one day, listening to Houses of the Holy on the radio in the car. And one line, Robert Plant says, does it hurt to hear a lie? Was this the only world you had? And I began to cry because that church was my world. That was everything, dude. I learned everything about God because I began to go to that church when I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
So I'm just a baby. So, my roots were there. I had friends that I thought were blood. And I decided to leave that church. And God used a Led Zeppelin song to have me go think about it. You were hearing a lot of lies. And you're hurt by that. And God ministered to me through a Led Zeppelin song. Now, I'm sure some people, I've heard some people say God only speaks from the Bible. Really? How come he talked through a donkey? And God can talk to us any way he wants to. I'm not going to limit him.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah. And just to clear that up, we're not saying that we look at anything other than the Bible for saying it came directly from God. We're saying we see God's influences through people that aren't even believers. A lot of people can be
Hmm.
led to Christ through people that aren't even believers or anything,
Right.
because like I said, we're all made in the image of God, and some things are just revealed in a spiritual sense.
Yeah. Well, and my grandmother was a Catholic.
Mm.
You and I don't agree with the Catholic Church, but it was a book she had by a Catholic bishop named Fulton Sheen. He used to have his own show on in the 60s. And
Mm.
I never saw it, but I saw clips of it. But
Mm.
this book she had called The Life of Christ,
Yeah.
that is the book that made me want to know if Jesus is real or not.
Mm. Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Hmm.
I remember you took me to see the cover band of Zeppelin. Those guys were amazing.
So, I'm
And
going
just
next month.
to, yeah, yeah, I'm jealous. They just to see them impersonating Zeppelin. I wonder what it would have been like to be seeing them live at their prime.
Your dad got to see them, dude.
I bet they were yeah.
Yeah, he was blown away because he loved Bonzo, the drummer. Because your
Yeah,
dad was a drummer, but yeah, he
yeah.
said they were killer.
And they've been, the main influence on probably your favorite band. They can always
Hmm.
have a Led Zeppelin. 90% of musicians out now. Well, Led Zeppelin, Led Zeppelin. So,
Yeah.
but of course, some certain concepts, their lifestyle they were living in the 70s, and
Well, we still have this kind of lifestyle: sex, drugs, rock and roll.
mhm,
I want just the rock and roll. I don't need the other stuff.
mhm, mhm,
It's like, and it's sad because you watch these artists, not just artists, but film stars too, sports players. They get caught up in the drug lifestyle, and
mhm,
it just turns everything upside down. So it's unfortunate that and then we had what the suicides of Chris Cornell and Chester Bennington. That was
mhm,
horrible.
mhm.
And some of my Christian acquaintances would say that's the most selfish thing, and look what they did. And I'm
Mhm.
thinking, I've been suicidal,
Yeah,
and it's a horrible, scary feeling, dude.
yeah,
You literally feel like
mhm.
you got to do this,
Yeah.
you know?
You don't want to live no more. That's the saddest
Yeah.
thing to go through.
And I think I shared with you, I would love to be a traveling chaplain for these rock bands. I would love to say, hey, you're going through something. Let's pray. Let's
Yeah,
read the Bible. God's got you, you
yeah.
know?
And we, throughout time from the beginning of rock and roll to modern day, you see a lot of people in Hollywood coming to Christ. So they act
Hmm.
like, everything that's mainstream is the devil, and you can just
Yeah.
stay in the church and keep your head in. You can't. How do you, if you're a Christian, you want to go witness to people who don't know God, and you want to share the love that God, has given you, and
Right.
you're this new creation. You want to share the gospel because you can't keep it
Right.
contained when you're truly converted. You want to share it with someone. You go
Well,
out,
not oh, go ahead.
you
I'm
go
sorry.
out into the real world,
Hmm.
and you see these people living this lifestyle. You have nothing about it. You can't relate to them in any way. You look like a Mormon. You look like an outsider. You look like someone I would not want to speak with. I'm not saying we indwell ourselves in these cultures, but being familiar, knowing what's good and what's bad in certain things, and showing. See, look, this good example. We can look at Christian, I guess, concepts in music of Marilyn Manson, and it takes a very discerning spirit to do that and say, look,
Hmm.
and you talk to Marilyn Manson crowds and say, what do you think about these lyrics? What do you think about this part of his song? Do you know that's actually a biblical view?
Right.
It'll click their mind and say, you know what, maybe there is something to what these Christians are saying.
And and
You know,
Marilyn Manson is another one that I wouldn't say he had a bad experience with the church, but his problem was, the church kept teaching Jesus coming back, and he's like, well, he never came back. So that was his line in the sand. Okay, I'm done with Christianity. Okay,
right.
so that's sad too.
Mhm.
I find that sad. But like you said, okay, so like on my next song is Tiny Dancer by Elton John. I personally
The Elton John, the homosexual who's going to burn in hell forever and ever.
listen. I was just gonna say that. Um, love Elton John from the
Yeah,
'70s, dude. He had so many hits, right?
yeah.
And I was thinking, okay, yes, I don't agree with the homosexual lifestyle, but
Hmm.
what if I ever had the privilege of meeting Elton John?
Hmm.
How would I want to handle that? I think, first of all,
It's
I could say, I appreciate your talent. You are such a talented man. You brought such beautiful music. Thank you. You know? that might bend his ear a little bit if I have, the opportunity to talk about his soul.
Mhm.
Then we can, talk into the other. But if I come at him with you're gay, God hates that,
And I'm sure they have his whole career.
oh
They've
yeah,
come at him.
yeah,
So
they have.
what do you think he thinks of the Christian? He probably laughs at us now.
Judgmental,
I don't
judgmental.
think he's to be honest with you, he's been so used to it for what, over 40 years now, that he's probably like, oh, here they come again, making fun of
Yeah.
us and laughing. And
Well, and here's the other part of that. We've had so many Christian leaders in the churches fall due to their sexual sin, and that the members or the leaders that rally around them just go, oh, we
Mhm.
can't cast stones. It's like, wait a minute. God takes this seriously. Why is that man back in the pulpit when he just cheated on his wife?
Huh.
You know what I'm saying? That's what
Yeah.
I'm
Hmm.
questioning. So, we're so the church is supposed to be the light, but we've got our own darkness that we don't deal with, but we're going to point a finger and, oh, the homosexual is horrible, the
Hmm.
transgender. Yeah, you know what? We're all sinners. We all need God,
Hmm. Hmm.
but we don't have an audience with the world because we're hypocrites. I'm
Hmm.
sorry. The
Yeah,
church
that's
is
true.
turned to a bunch of hypocrites.
That's true. And since you're talking about Elton John, I think I would like to talk to about another artist that is just probably as controversial. 2003, he actually did a song with him at the
Eminem.
music awards. It was Eminem. He has been a big influence on my life growing up, in the hip hop thing, seeing
Hmm.
a white kid able to do it good, get the respect, living in Detroit at the time when 8 Mile was popular,
Yeah.
seeing it done. Like now he's kind of hip hop royalty, because he's his relevancy has been so outlasting, a quarter century. He's been out since 96 and he's still top in charts, whatever. But there's some things, obviously the man cusses way too much, that I've
Yeah.
noticed. I've always listened to him, but as I become growing in my faith, I realize his mouth is always, running rampant, and he's very careless of what he says.
Mm.
He does have some Christian concepts. If you go to one of his older songs, which is Stan, it's about a stalker. Like, he made the term Stan, stalker fan. So he's a stalker and a fan.
Okay.
He loves Eminem so much. He writes some letters, but Eminem's not responding because he's busy.
Oh,
He
yeah, I
ends up
remember.
taking it out because his wife is she's pregnant with his kid. He's obsessing about Eminem. So he eventually gets her, puts her in the trunk, because she's getting in between him and Eminem.
Yeah.
Puts her in the trunk of his car. They end up falling off a bridge, whatever. End of the song, Eminem responds to him and he says, "Oh, I realized on the news that it was actually you who I'm talking to." But in the song, there's this dialogue saying he's talking to this fan and saying, "Look, I say certain things
Hmm.
in the songs just for entertainment purposes. You need to
Yeah,
really get
don't
some.
take it
You should."
literally.
The very very last verse of the song, he says, "I think you should get some counseling, and
Yeah.
seek attention. I'm sorry that you had to go through breakups, because Eminem had a uncle who killed him, committed suicide over a girl that like a
For
relationship."
real?
Yeah.
Oh, I
So
didn't know.
so
That's sad.
the stalker fan, he's relating to this, and he's saying, I wanted to kill myself too. And Eminem's just kind of like, I relate to that. You need to get some counseling. So
Hmm.
the whole counseling aspect of it, the saying we need to decipher from things that are kind of being, fictitious, to real life issues, and saying, but that's,
Yeah.
that's not, that can go through a lot of different worldviews, because, and that's the whole point I'm trying to make, is that even the secular world can see some values that the Christian can segue into having a relationship with Jesus. You know what I
Right.
mean?
And
So,
it's kind of like when you and I went to go see Corn with Rick and Benjamin, what,
mhm,
like 4 or 5 years ago, something
yeah.
like that.
Hmm.
And I remember I looked at you, I said, do you think Jesus would be here? And
Hmm.
we both are kind of like, because we're watching people that are high, drunk,
Drinking, yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
And I thought, you know, I think Jesus is here in me and you, because what if some crazy person came in here with a gun, or what if the
Hmm.
building got on fire? We're all going to die. You and I are there to
Hmm.
be able to bring these people to the Lord,
Hmm. And let
you
them
know?
know. Yeah.
Hmm.
And I think it's sad. But here's the sad part: they're multi-million dollar artists, and they're touring the world. They can have anything they want. Like Jonathan Jonathan Davis on the stage, in between every song, it's just 100 F words, and
Yeah,
it just shows the condition of his heart and saying, this guy's
right.
just so they're not happy, no matter how much
Well,
stardom they have. I
was
just don't think they're happy.
didn't Jonathan go through some trauma in his childhood?
Yeah,
I
he went
think,
through
yeah,
a lot of things. So, and then I think his was
his ex-wife
his
or
ex-wife died. So,
yeah.
but
So it's
that's the
like,
thing. Brian is there. He converted Christian. That's crazy how God works. Brian's right there.
I know.
Can
I
share the
love
gospel with
Brian.
them, you know? And that
That is
just
awesome.
he's a perfect example of the secular world needing a
Yeah.
Christian in it, and him not just totally casting out, because yeah, he was in drugs and all that stuff. He came
Mhm.
out of it,
Mhm.
got right with the Lord, and then came back to his passion. I don't think God was saying, well, you can't go back to corn
Yeah.
because
Well,
it's the devil.
unfortunately, has been judged
Of
severely
course.
by many Christians.
Mm-hmm.
How dare you? They talked about him wearing eyeliner. How dare you play
Mm-hmm.
rock and roll? How dare you take a picture with the transgender and your arm around them? I'm like, okay, what happened to we care about souls? I
Right.
don't understand that, Jess. It's almost like a lot of Christians and churches only care about bringing in new souls. What about keeping those souls?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that matter?
Yeah. The world is hurting. And the
Mm-hmm.
world puts on a great front.
Yeah,
We don't need God, but if you look and you kind of like a Wizard of Oz thing, once you pull the curtain, you realize how
mm-hmm.
bad and dark the
Yeah,
world is, and people
yeah,
they really want to hear it. They want to hear it conveyed into a language they can understand, because a lot of people just don't want to take the time to learn about God. They don't want to read their
yeah.
Bibles. I don't get all of it. They don't get the culture of church, because the church hasn't defined itself the culture, because they're anti-culture. Well, we don't like that. We don't like
Right.
this. So why should the secular world want to go into the church culture and be like, okay, so I'm leaving certain things that I've done. I want to love the Lord, but I don't know how to, because you guys are so uh lame, and you put all these strict rules on things we can't do because
Mm-hmm.
everything's the devil. That's the whole problem with
Well, that's where we have to find the balance of being in the world but not of it.
it. Right.
Okay,
Hmm.
that means to grab onto the world view and
Hmm.
embrace that is how we're going to live our life. It has nothing to do with how you want to dress,
Hmm.
what you want to listen to,
Hmm.
what color you're going to paint your house. I mean, we can take this and just run with it. Those things don't make you holy. I don't understand why we think if we're doing A, B, and C, we're
Hmm.
holy. And if we stop doing E, F, G, we're holy. It's like, let God
Hmm.
work in you. He
Hmm.
gets rid of that stuff that's not pleasing to him. He
Hmm.
helps you grow. He helps you mature. We get this mentality of this white knuckling thing. Okay, I got to stop doing this, and then I'm going to not do
Hmm.
this anymore. And this is why we need Jesus. We can't do it on our own.
Can't. Yep, we can't. Who is okay, who is the next artist or
Number
song?
3 is
Yeah.
"Seasons of Wither" by Aerosmith.
Mm.
It's a great song. Great song. You probably don't know, but that's my favorite Aerosmith song.
Aerosmith.
And yes, when I was growing up, I had a mad crush on Steve Tyler.
Did most women in the 80s. I've
70s.
heard I've heard a couple of songs of theirs. They're pretty good. Never been big on
Yeah,
them, but
good band, good
I can
band.
see why, if they weren't the hair band era, were they? Semi
No, they were
before
they were in the 70s.
they're before the well, didn't they start in the late 60s?
No, early 70s.
I thought it was late 60s, because I
Mm-mm.
remember okay.
No, I think Steven Tyler wrote Dream On in 70 when he was like 17. He was young, dude.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, and of course, you've got Dream On, Train Kept a Rolling,
Hmm.
Walk This Way, Sweet Emotion. They've got a lot of good songs. I love Aerosmith.
Yeah. I think they're basic. They have a really good they're very universal. Like a lot of people can
Mm-hmm.
relate to their music.
Yeah.
And they're
And,
they're still around.
to be clear, I've never liked hair bands, dude. The 80s, I don't know what happened in the 80s. I don't know.
I'm starting to like some 80s stuff.
I like some stuff, but as far as the rock and roll, I think the only band I liked from the 80s was White Snake. You still got the hair thing going on, but Coverdale had a great voice, and I thought they were a good band.
I got Michael Bolton on my playlist. I heard us How am I supposed to live without you? I'm like, yeah, sing it, Michael. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Okay.
For
I
some
raised
weird
you better.
reason.
I raised you better than
I
that.
don't know. There's just some songs. If I can go, hold on, let me give
You
you.
did not go there.
I'll give you
Did
some
not
crazy
go.
stuff. I'm gonna pull up my playlist right now. I have the weirdest playlist.
You didn't write yours down. I wrote mine down.
I
Michael
have it on
Bolton.
here. I'm on YouTube right now.
Dude, that's freaking hilarious.
And okay, we're gonna segue just for a second. But the next artist I want to talk about is the one, the only, the most top-selling artist on planet Earth.
Elvis, the Beatles.
There you go. We're gonna talk about them in a minute. But I want to
Elvis
show you.
was up there.
I want to show you my little playlist if I can find it. So I have a alternative playlist. I have a country playlist. I have a hair metal playlist.
Country playlist.
I got a country playlist.
Go there. That's blasphemy. You know, God hates
cherry
country.
pie. Cherry pie.
Oh.
She's my cherry pie. I don't know why. You know, he said
cherry pie.
He had a bunch
he
of
freaking
songs.
died, dude.
He died? I
Yeah,
didn't know
the
that.
singer, Danny,
Wow.
I think he was coming off of alcohol. He was a bad alcoholic, and I think he kind of, fell off the wagon. And dude, they found him in a hotel room.
No way. I did not know
Yeah,
that.
pretty sad. Yeah. He ended up marrying that girl from the video. She was real pretty, and I think they had a daughter together.
I think so. I read about something like that. I have a lot of Van Halen. Big Van Halen. Very sad that he died.
Are we David or Sammy?
That's the question. That is a good question.
Personally, I like some songs of Sammy, but I think David had the better voice. David had the better voice.
I think, okay. I don't know how to word it. Okay, it's not my generation, so I'm just catching up. Yeah, David was their sound. In my personal opinion, that was their sound. Hagar, hey, it's like they were a different band. I can't say they were Van Halen. They were a different band. I don't know why they should have changed the name.
He took them on a different level, but yeah, I like a lot of stuff with Sammy. But I remember when Van Halen came out in '79, dude. I was working in Michigan at the gas station, and we were jamming that album. We thought, man, these new guys are awesome.
Yeah.
Me and my brothers liked him a lot. Of course, now David Lee Roth is really weird now.
He's definitely weird.
What happened there? Okay. So what's your next? Do you have a Beatles song?
I want to go probably Beatles album. I really like The Help. Well, actually, no, Beatles for Sale is probably my favorite Beatles album.
Do you have a particular song that would be on God's playlist? I would think While My Guitar Gently Weeps.
That's not off that album, is it?
No, but I love that song.
I'm trying to pull it up.
And I actually just recorded that song myself.
Did you?
And did a pretty fine job, if I do say so. If I do say so, that's a Stevie song. Okay.
No song in particular.
Just a lot of them, huh?
What's it? Baby in Black? Was that what it's called?
Oh,
Dressed in Black.
Your dad liked that song.
I don't know why. It's just the songwriting.
Dear,
I just like this. It's this.
And I'm feeling blue.
It's not complex. It's basically everything that they write is just so gosh darn catchy.
I like Across the Universe. There's something, I don't know, mysterious and beautiful about it. I like that song a lot. Don't know what the heck John's talking about, but I like the song.
Okay. Who's a better songwriter, John or Paul? I already have my answer. I've had my answer.
Actually, I think they're equal, but I lean. Okay, listen, buddy. I like Paul's style better. John was too out in the middle of the atmosphere somewhere. But yes, I like John's stuff. Don't get me wrong. But I lean more to listening to Paul's writing. I'm talking about stuff after they were in the Beatles too.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Paul all day. Like
Maybe I'm Amazed. Come on, that's a classic, dude. You like that song, right? That's a great song. But then you have Imagine, beautiful song, right?
I'm trying to. Give me a second here. Why is it not pulling up?
Okay, let's move on to another song.
Give me your next.
Another band. I've got Coming Undone by Korn.
That's a good one.
I love that song. That's a cool song.
That is a good one. They, I listen to me personally. See, that's a band. Just like, let's say I'm into the later Zeppelin stuff. You're like, no, you got to check
Mhm.
out the early stuff. I feel the same way with Corn. Like you're liking to me, that's the newer Corn.
Yeah.
I'm talking early '90s Corn was kind of
Freak
where they
on a
were at.
Leash.
No, before that, I'm talking Blind and Ball Tongue and Life is Peachy stuff. Like that's where I
Oh,
remember we saw the concert. I'm like, they gotta do some Life is Peachy. They gotta do some. They finally did it. I was like,
yeah.
yeah, I'm all
Yeah. I mean, I
feeling
like
old.
Freak on a Leash and Make Me Bad. I mean, they have a lot of great songs.
Hmm.
I think Korn was unique themselves too. They had a great sound.
They because you got to think of where they're coming from. They're coming right post grunge, great,
Yeah.
and they're making this transition from, the hair metal. We're partying, we got the girls and the drugs, and then it
Hmm.
goes into this. It's okay to want to die and do heroin and talk about death and oh that's popular. And then the '80s they see this, oh, we're dying out. So
Okay, want to
once
die.
grunge died out, we have this new kind of element of they
And of
implemented the hip
course,
hop with the metal.
I loved grunge. You're talking Soundgarden, Nirvana,
Oh,
Pearl
Stone Temple
Jam.
Pilots. Yeah.
Oh yeah, grunge was freaking
I
awesome, dude.
I actually have listen to this in the beginning of my I have a alternative slash grunge playlist. I have Foo Fighters, Stone Temple Pilots,
Let me just say one comment to Mr. David Grohl.
oh, I must have missed.
I like Foo Fighters, but you're
Hmm.
gonna have a concert only for the vaccinated.
Oh,
Shame on you.
is that what he said?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
No.
What an idiot.
Yeah.
Not cool. But if you're going to be ignorant, like a big part of our society that doesn't do their own research but listens to the news, we're
Hmm.
all going to be dead from COVID, and we need a vaccination for a disease with a 99.9% recovery rate. Yeah,
Hmm. Hmm.
we're the idiots.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
whatever.
I have a perfect one for the playlist. Filter. Hey man, nice shot.
Good song.
That
Love Filter.
that's got a good message to it. It's very listenable to
Well, you
you
know what
know
that's about, right?
from my perspective, correct me if I'm wrong, he's just basically trying to overcome something
Ew.
and he's shot down, but okay, so
Dude,
actual event.
check this out. I found this out just a few years ago.
Yeah.
It's based on this dude from the 70s. I think he was some type of congressman. I forgot where he was, right?
Oh, it shot himself.
He freaking went on the news because they were trying to set him up for something. It turns out he was innocent, of course, but
Hmm.
during the time, he's freaking out. He's putting his affairs in order, calls a news conference, bam, shoots
I
himself,
think I
kills
saw the
himself.
I saw the footage of that. Yeah.
The cameraman's glued on him, his blood's coming out. I'm like,
Hmm.
oh my, I had no idea
So
that's
that's
what
what the
that song
song is
was
about.
about. Yes.
Really?
Isn't that sad?
Wow.
Yeah, very sad. But
Not
I
aware.
like Take a Picture. I know you didn't like Take a Picture by Filter, but I love that song. It's very happy.
They got yeah, it's too happy for me.
I like
Soundgarden.
it.
I love a couple Soundgarden.
Soundgarden. Yeah. Chris Cornell, what a unique voice and talent. And that makes me sad too. I really think
Hmm.
him being on that, I think it was he on Ambien or Active Ativan?
I
One
think
of
it was I
those.
think it was Ativan.
And it messed with him. I found that so sad, dude. You know,
Hmm.
very, very sad. And there's also this theory that him and Chester were involved in revealing some kind of child sex trafficking going on. I don't know if that's true, but I
Hmm.
think we lost two great artists, and I think it's
Hmm.
sad.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. A lot of people. I mean, where I was working at the time when Chester Bennington killed himself, I guess it affected a lot of people. And I remember I kind of I mean I was sad about it, but I don't know if you remember back in junior high, I was listening to a band and the lead
Lynn
singer
Snot, Lynn from Snot.
straight yeah, he was
Yeah,
I guess it was like a 5-6 car pileup off the highway. He had just
yeah.
left the studio, and like the metal world were kind of anticipating
He
his
had
second
his
album.
dog with him. What was his name?
I think it was Dobbs, but so yeah, that traumatized me. I
I
was just
remember
like
you
real
were
sad all
sad.
day. Yeah, when you
I
follow a band.
remember. Yeah,
Um, I have I have some funny stuff on my playlist. I got
I do too.
um where is it at? I just saw it. Blues Traveler Run Around.
I'm not a Blues Traveler
That
fan,
song was awesome.
but
I really was. Wilson Phillip,
it,
hold on.
Someday somebody's gonna make you want to turn around and say goodbye.
I
Tell
have
that baby.
I have Miley I have
Right?
Miley Cyrus's Party in the USA on my playlist.
Oh my!
Have you heard that song?
Just a dagger in
Have
my
you heard
heart.
that sound? Have you heard that song?
A dagger. He
Put the
likes
song
Miley
on.
Cyrus.
That only song. She didn't write the song. It's the production of it.
Miley Cyrus is a moron.
Ah, we all know that. But that song is
Why would you listen to her?
because the song is litty lit. That's why. John,
I've listened to it and it sucks.
it's awesome.
It sucks.
John Farnham, you're the voice.
What?
You ever heard that one?
No.
John
Oh
Farnham.
no! Wait, you sent me the video. That had a good message. Yeah, I remember that one.
Can you
But
hear
you're
it?
gonna have to get. Can you please get rid of Miley Cyrus?
I can't
I'm
do
not-
that.
I'm not feeling that.
Can't do
I'm
that.
gonna strongly oppose you on that one. And I
Well,
don't think Jesus has it on his playlist.
Duncan Sheik, barely breathing.
I am barely breathing.
I do have that song on there.
I like Counting Blue Cars by Dishwalla. Tell me all your thoughts on God. Remember
Well,
that one?
my wife loves In Sync.
Bye bye.
Yes.
That's cute.
Her
She's
and
adorable.
yes.
She's
Bye,
adorable.
bye. Okay, now that's a healthy song for a Christian to listen to, right?
If they're gay, no.
Okay. So what else is what's next
Okay,
on the list?
You got to put the Stones on there, right?
Do
One
we?
of my favorite Stone songs is Monkey Man from Let It Bleed. Now, if you don't know Monkey Man, you need to check it out. That's a cool song.
What is that song about?
Don't know, don't care. Just freaking awesome.
Don't know,
Music's killer. And I like Can't You Hear Me Knocking from Sticky Fingers. That's a good song, dude. Keith is killing it on that song.
Really?
You got any Stones on your list?
I don't have Stones on my list. I was not a big Stones fan. I respect them. I do respect them. It's definitely outside my generation.
But you know, now that they're like 80 years old, they need to hang up the turning. I'm
They're
just
like
gonna say
yeah.
that.
They are 100 years old.
Yeah.
I have Five Finger Death Punch, Gone Away.
I did like
That is
their
a
version,
very
but I
strong
like the
song.
Offspring. I like
No.
the Offspring's version best. I'm sorry.
They
I
did
do.
way better. Offspring it's so dorky and poppy. I didn't like it. Are you serious?
Listen,
So I got Miley. You
dude,
got this. You got
they
that one. I
wrote-
say no. I say no.
oh God, Miley don't have. She can't hold a candle to the Offspring.
But anyway, their version, their rendition is very,
I
very
did
powerful
like it. Yeah,
because it's
I did like it.
a lot of what the soldiers are going through, you know, and
yeah.
it gives you all the statistics of how, or no, that's a different one. I think they have another song where they're talking about the military where it shows all the stats of the homeless
Yeah, I
veterans
forgot.
and all that.
Yeah. Well, personally, I like Five Finger Death Punch. I think the dude's got a great voice. The band's awesome. Can't listen to him a lot because the ex really liked him, so can't really.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Five Finger.
Yeah. But speaking of that kind of music, how about Cold by Breaking Benjamin?
Breaking Benjamin was awesome. We saw them
love
live.
That song Cold. That song is great.
My favorite one of theirs. What's the one they opened with? No, not not the one they opened with. Till the End, I think it is.
Oh yeah.
That's probably my favorite song of theirs.
I like Cold. I think Cold's my favorite song by them. Okay, now how about a little Seven Dust? Let's stick Waffle in there. I love that song, dude.
Seven Dust. I will definitely take Denial or Black over that.
There's another one, but we can't say it. It starts with a B, but we like that song too.
We do.
I can imagine to be like you.
Yeah.
The pain and the suffering you put me through. I can't sing like LeJean, but
do you know? Do you think? What's it? Okay, Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, killing in the name of. Yeah.
Put a lot of Rage Against the Machine on there because I don't know.
What a great band. Great band.
I think they did it right when they merged the hip hop with the rock.
Yes.
They did it right because they're very anti-government. I'm not anti-government. They're very political in their
Oh, they
messages.
are. I think they are.
So out of all the what they call the new metal, which is the late 90s 2000s was the merging of rap and metal.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
Rage Against the Machine has aged the best in my opinion.
yeah. I think they are great. I don't like rap music, but Zach rapping with Rage, yeah, awesome stuff.
Oh, we're definitely
Awesome
gonna go
stuff.
into my hip hop playlist. Why not?
Okay.
Who else? I think but I do also have, let me show you my Christian playlist. This is what I'm talking
Okay.
about. We also have a Christian playlist.
I think all 10 songs in my Christian playlist would be from DC Talks Jesus Freak CD.
Mm-hmm.
Love that.
Yes,
CD.
anything from that album is classic.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Have you heard
Good
of
stuff.
All of Creation by Mercy Me?
I think I have. I
That's a
like
good one.
Mercy Me.
The
I
Afters,
can
Light Up
only imagine.
the Sky.
Oh my dude.
That's a great song. It's a great
I
song.
was just listening to that song the other day and it makes me cry because I've always had that song pop up when I'm going through some dark times, and God is always faithful to talk to me and encourage me and light up the sky in some kind of way. So yes, love that song.
See how we can like Christian music and secular music and we're not veering from our faith?
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
I love Jars of Clay, their first one, and Much Afraid. Oh, Much Afraid. Much Afraid. There's a book called Much Afraid, and it is so good. No, it's Hind's Feet on High Places. I'm sorry. Great book, dude. I got to get you a copy. I think you and Demire would love it. It's really, it's an allegory book, but it's allegorical book, but it's pretty powerful. And the character in the book is Much Afraid. She's afraid to go on this journey with Jesus where he wants to take her up in her faith. And it's just awesome, dude. So Jars of Clay made that CD that had to do with that book.
Okay. Wow. I do have them on there. I have a love song for a savior. I do love that song. That's a great song.
That's my favorite. And I like Flood. Remember they used to play Flood and Kilo?
First time I heard, yeah, they used to do that. First time I heard Love Song for a Savior, I was playing basketball with the kids at New Life Church, and guess who walks on the basketball court?
Shaq.
Ted Haggard. That's the first time I heard that song. It's just
is this pre or post sin?
Oh, this is way pre.
That should be a whole nother video. God bless him, but I have some issues with him. So anyway, what are you doing?
Sorry, I'm asking the wife if I can get a beverage. I'm dying of thirst here.
All right, so I want to say I gotta put Incubus. I love Incubus.
I know you love Incubus.
You introduced me to that band, so it's all your
really fault. Their first two albums were classics. Morning View. I got into Morning View. They kind of got soft on me. That's why I was like, no, we got to stay heavy metal, man.
As gorgeous as Brandon is and singing a soft love song, oh, Lord, I'm just going to melt. Yeah. Well, I love Brandon.
My favorite metal, Christian, fair. Okay, obvious. Obvious.
Let's talk about Brandon. No, I'm done.
Favorite Christian heavy metal band by far is POD. I have Going In Blind. Have you heard that one?
No, but I like Youth of a Nation.
POD is a very good Christian metal band.
Payment on Death, right?
Payable on Death, I think, yes.
Yeah.
Sonny's
got a great voice. I'm all about voices because I'm a singer. So yeah, I always appreciate a good voice.
And they definitely fit in that new the new metal scene.
The rock, yeah.
Yeah. Dave Barnes, God Gave Me You. That's a great one.
I can't listen to that one because it reminds me.
Chris Tomlin, Indescribable.
Indescribable. Oh, I love that song. Yeah, beautiful.
That's a great song.
Chris is probably one of my favorite Christian artists.
Now, my favorite two songs on Jesus Freak got to be Between You and Me and In the Light. Those are my favorite two songs. What do you think? What say you? Just Between You and Me is a very good one.
Just between you and me, I got something. I love Jesus Freak. There's a man, Chubby's rapping.
I don't think that aged very well.
I like it. I like that one.
I remember.
And I like So Help Me God. Yeah, that's a good one. Day by Day.
I have tons of
Day by day.
Brandon Heath. I'm not who I was.
Brand.
Very good one.
Yes. Nice song.
Hmm. So we do
Very
have
nice.
playlists as Christians.
Nicole Mullins, I know that my Redeemer lives. Good song. Powerful.
Now I have to embarrass you. Um,
Shakira, right?
You're not gonna know any of these.
Oh.
Carrie Underwood, So Small. Have you ever heard that song?
Okay, let me say this. Beautiful voice, beautiful girl. I don't like country. Sorry. She did Jesus Take the Wheel. Okay, I can deal with that one.
Is that a secular or Christian song? What would you say?
It's a secular Christian song. It's
It
a
kind of
Christian
is.
secular song. Yeah.
Secular
Cool.
Christian. See, we can't. They
Right.
can do that, and I like the fact that mainstream artists can do songs like that. And it
Mhm.
was she didn't go unbiblical on it, and I think from a
Yeah.
Christian perspective, you say when you want to put God like Kanye West did a Jesus Walk song, and it was more of a
I
it
don't
had a
know.
Christian message in it too, and I think that's
Yeah.
and he has that platform where people can say, oh wow, Kanye's talking about something other than XYZ that the majority of the hip hop community talks about. So
Mhm.
that's good when artists do that and say,
Well, yeah. Now, in my opinion, one of the greatest gospel albums that a secular artist did was when Elvis Presley did his gospel album. And beautiful. I don't know
yeah,
if you've ever heard any of it,
mm,
but just beautiful. That man had a voice like butter. I mean, he had a
he did,
beautiful
and
voice.
I see why he was so big at his time.
Hmm.
I can see that.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
listened to enough Elvis to realize, yeah, that's why
yeah.
he was who he
And
was.
in my opinion, I know you hear your mom say this guy's hot and that guy. To me, Elvis was the most handsomest man that ever walked the earth. Period.
Oh,
So
well, I'm sure there's a lot of men that feel that way too. From that generation. That's weird. When men from his generation say that, that's weird. I
anyway,
have
moving right along.
I have Trace Atkins, Muddy Waters. This is a very good song. He's talking about being baptized. It's got
In
a
muddy waters,
very
I
yeah
think you should have clear waters,
in
not
Muddy
muddy
Waters. Well, I mean
waters.
it's a South thing, so it's
I'm being funny.
love the
I'm trying to
message.
be.
Love the message in that one.
Mm,
Toby Keith, who's that man? So it's he's divorcing his wife. He's driving by the old house. He sees the old family. He sees
oh
that's
boy.
the pavement that I fixed up. That's my car. That's my house. That's my yard. And then he says, "Who's that man running my life?" So it's a kind of it's a tearjerker for people that are going through that kind of stuff.
Been there, done that. Got the
Yeah.
T-shirt.
Um.
Oh, which means I'm a I'm a I'm a sinner because God hates divorce.
Mm.
That's a whole nother episode.
I know you hate country, but you should really check out Blake Shelton's God's Country. This is if you're patriotic towards your country, it's a good one. It's not fully country. It's got some rock to it. So you might I know you're just totally shunned out from it, but
Let
it's a
me
good
say
song.
this.
It's a good song.
Let me just say this.
It's a good song. I'm
Through
sorry.
through the years, there's always been somebody who loves country that looks me in my eyeballs and says, "You really should listen to
I'm
this song."
saying. I'm
So
saying.
guess what? The times I thought, okay, I'll listen to it. I usually don't like it, but I
Depends on
never
what
told.
you're
Listen. I've never told a country fan you really should listen to this Led Zeppelin song because I know they don't want to hear it.
but
So I'm going to
what
stop
country
you
song
right
have you
there.
listened to? What's the country song
I
you listen
don't
to?
want to hear it.
What's the country song you listen to?
They all sound the same.
There we go.
Thank
Anyway,
you.
moving on.
I have listened to country songs. I can't help it if I don't like it. I just don't freaking like it.
That's
So
fine.
it's,
1948's Hank Williams Sr. I Saw the Light. That's a very good song about Christian. He's living this lifestyle that's sinful. He saw the light. He became a born again believer, and now he's um, thanking God for that.
just
So
drinking whiskey on Saturday.
old song, old 1940s. Nat King Cole, Nature Boy.
I like Nat King Cole,
King
but I don't know
Cole.
that song. He had a beautiful voice,
Yes,
didn't he?
yes, he was really
liked
good.
Chestnuts roasting on an open
Mhm.
fire. That's what I always think of when I hear Nat King Cole.
Have you ever heard of Harry James and Helen Forrest?
Where
been
are
a
you
long,
finding these people?
it's been a long time. This is my 40s playlist. I have a 1940s playlist.
You
I'm
are
telling you,
adorable.
got some weird stuff. I got yeah. I got a
Let's not do a 1920s.
K Kaiser. I have K Kaiser. Jingle,
Okay.
jangle, jangle. You ever heard that one? That's on my playlist. Told you I'm weird. I do have a weird playlist.
That is cute. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
1940s playlist. Gotta have some swing in there.
I'm sure you want to hear my classic rock playlist.
Yeah, of course I do.
Top. These are my top notch. They made the playlist. The meaning they are the soundtrack to my life.
The playlist.
America, a horse with no name.
I've been to the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to get out of the rain. In the desert, you can't
remember your name because the rain. No,
la.
That's just a good song. Like seriously,
It is.
Okay, so
Tin Man.
Is
Tin
it really
Man
about?
Is better.
Is it about dropping acid out in the desert? Is that what I'm getting from that song? It has to be.
Let's just go with that. Yeah.
It has to be.
Actually, I like Tin Man better, and your dad loved Tin Man.
Tin Man. Journey.
Did you like
Journey Lights? Lights.
When the lights go down. Yes. Steve Perry. Yeah, great voice.
Jimi Hendrix Experience, all along the Watchtower. I think that's everybody else's playlist.
You know, as much as I love Hendrix, never liked that song. I like Hey Joe, Voodoo Child.
That's a Bob Dylan song, right?
Crosstown Traffic. Yeah, it's Bob Dylan.
It's a Bob Dylan song.
Yeah,
were you ever a Tears for Fears fan?
Something happens and I'm head over heels. I never find out. Yes.
Yeah.
Don't take my heart. Don't break my heart. Don't throw it away.
I have Peter Gabriel, Sledgehammer.
I wanna be
Sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da,
Now he was good in Genesis. Did you know he used to front Genesis?
He was in Genesis, yes.
Carpet Crawlers, good song.
Elvis Presley, Are You Lonesome Tonight?
Do you miss me tonight?
That's the playlist.
Yep, good.
Told you to listen to him. Kenny Loggins, Danger Zone. That's so.
No,
that song's so 80s. Yes.
Kenny Loggins, you got to do. I'm all right.
Sorry. Danger Zone made the playlist.
Angry Eyes, when he was with Loggins and Messina. No. Kenny's got better songs. Come on, he did a song with Stevie Nicks too.
Okay.
Keep going.
I got Traffic, Dear Mr. Fantasy.
Dear Mr. Fantasy. My favorite Traffic song is Low Spark of High Heeled Boys.
Low Spark of High Heeled Boys. Yes.
Love it.
1971. I also have Empty Pages on my playlist.
Oh, staring at empty pages. I love that song, dude. Good job.
Obviously Roundabout. Yes, Roundabout.
I'll be the round. Do you like Long Distance?
That bass line's insane. That bass player.
Oh my god, Chris Squire. Was Chris Squire a killer bass player?
That was insane. I think you played me that song and say, here, check this out. And that guy's phenomenal.
Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, that's a great song. Yes, it's just a killer band.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like Rush? I liked a few Rush songs.
By Night, Limelight. They're major ones.
Tom Sawyer.
I like Tom Sawyer. I like Tom Sawyer.
Working Man. Yeah, they call me the Working Man.
You don't have any weird songs in your playlist?
Yes, I do. How about, let's see here.
A song that someone would say, we gotta talk. I have tons of those.
I don't know. I'm not sure if I have any weird ones. I think I just have impeccable taste.
Have you ever heard of Fine Young Cannibals?
Yes. Should just be crazy.
Down.
Like no one. Dude, that sounds so retarded.
Dun.
He's not going across the screen.
I don't know why. I just like that song.
Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Did you like that song?
Yeah. Player. Baby Come Back.
Baby Come Back. You can claim it all on me. I was wrong.
England, Dan, and John Ford Coley.
I'd really love to see you tonight. That one?
Yep. Not much. How about you? I love that song. It really don't matter much to me. I'm not talking about
over them, and I don't want to change your life.
Yeah. But there's a woman, the woman starts to run.
Do you like
great song? It's a great song.
You like You're So Vain by Carly Simon. It's supposed to be about Mick Jagger. Do you know that song?
I've heard the song, yes.
So vain. That's a good song.
That's about Mick Jagger, huh?
Yeah, well, allegedly.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And he sings backup in the song too.
Wow.
How about we talk about Eric Clapton? Layla. Good song. He was in Blind Faith.
Okay.
Can't Find My Way Home. I love that song.
He was in quite a few bands.
Derek and the Dominoes, where he did Bell Bottom Blues, one of my favorite songs.
Mm-hmm.
That song's great. And Cream, Sunshine of Your Love. So, Badge.
Yeah.
Badge is probably one of my favorite Cream songs.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. Did you know that song?
How's it go?
I just have to play it for you, dude. I mean, I sing it, but.
So I guess the moral of the story is, hold on,
Hold the line.
I guess I guess what the whole point of it is, I got from Got Questions. Let's just hear a little bit about someone's, they say, professional opinion. Secular music often promotes immorality and violence while belittling purity and integrity. If a song glorifies what opposes God, a Christian should not listen to it. However, there are many secular songs with no mention of God that still uphold godly values such as honesty, purity, and integrity. If a love song promotes the sanctity of marriage and or the purity of true love, even if it does not mention God or the Bible, it can still be listened to and enjoyed. Whatever a person allows to occupy his mind will sooner or later determine his speech and his actions. This is the premise behind Philippians 4:8. Let's read Philippians 4:8 real quick.
Whatsoever is true, pure.
Let us read. Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable. If there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. I think we can find that in secular music. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's
it's an art form. There's a beauty to it.
Also in Colossians 3:2, set your minds on things that are above, not on things that are on the earth. We understand that. Establishing wholesome thought patterns. 2 Corinthians 10:5, we destroy arguments and every lofty opinion raised against the knowledge of God and take every thought captive to obey Christ. Now, when I'm listening to Tool, am I under the power of Christ or am I under the hypnosis of Maynard? That's, I think, how we have to look at these things. Am I being hypnotized by the lyrics,
Who's more powerful, Maynard or the Spirit of God that's in you? Mm-hmm. So you mean to tell me the Spirit of God goes running out of us if we put Tool on?
Mm-hmm, exactly.
I don't think so.
Obviously.
Now, if we start listening to some music and we start going, you know what? I think I'm done with this God stuff. Okay, then we might have a problem. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah. But listen to this. The Bible nowhere condemns any particular style of music. The Bible nowhere declares any particular musical instrument to be ungodly. The Bible mentions numerous kinds of stringed instruments and wind instruments. While the Bible does not specifically mention drums, it does mention other percussion instruments. Nearly all of the forms of modern music are variations and or combinations of the same type of musical instrument played at different speeds or with heightened emphasis. There is no biblical basis to declare any particular style of music to be ungodly or outside of God's will. I'm still here. Hello. No, you're fine.
You got
Did you hear any of that?
You were frozen for a minute.
No, you were frozen.
No, you were.
No, you were.
No, you.
Well, I am hardwired on both computers, so I don't know. We'll see how the
okay. Anyway,
we'll make a bet who was frozen on the final cut. But see what I'm saying?
The bottom line is this. Listen to what you want to listen to. If you feel like it's pulling you away from God, then don't. but don't make your standard the standard that everyone else has to go by.
Yes. We're not, yeah. Obviously, we're not going to listen to death metal that's talking about crucifying Christ and having him upside down, because there's metal bands like that. Well, obviously, if you're a Christian, why are you listening to
Yeah.
that? Then you'd be reevaluated, have your head examined. But if you're listening to some kind of pop song and it's pulling, does it stumble? The question is it keeping me from my faith? Is it taking my mind off of things of God? Am I not reading the Bible because of this? Am I not talking to my neighbor about God because of it?
And I think you and I have the same mindset. When we listen to a secular song, we're still thinking about God. We're thinking about, what's this person trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
What's their background? What, we're trying to get into this band's head, their thinking, and if they have musical talent, we're just appreciating their talent.
Yeah, I think, I'll go more with that, because there's a lot of, I think the more closer I do get with God and still continue to listen to secular music, I do realize that I don't really particularly like the person I'm listening to. I respect their art. I can differentiate the artist from their art. Like, okay, any kind of rapper or heavy metal artist, I wouldn't really want to talk to them. If I would I'd be talking about different things other than the stuff they're talking about on there. But I love their music. I love their compositions, how they put it together.
And we can use that for any art form, whether it's a movie or a painting. Wasn't it Monet that cut off his ear? You mean to tell me if every person that appreciates a Monet picture, they have a desire to cut off their ear?
Yeah, it's just,
you know what I'm saying? It's, come on.
So I don't think it is a sin to listen to secular music.
I don't think so either. But I have been judged through the years by other Christians, Oh, I thought you were serious about God. Oh, okay. Well, I thought you weren't a judgmental idiot, but I guess I was wrong too. So,
and we have, I think, with technology that has grown, we can, for me personally, if I like an artist and I like majority of their the albums I do like and I can agree with and say this is an antichrist, whatever you want to say, those make the playlist. I don't keep the whole album on there. We can decide which songs we want to have on our playlist instead of having the whole album on there.
We also have to look at these artists. A lot of them don't know God. How do we expect them to act and think? You know what I mean? It's like we're condemning them for acting like a lost person when they are a lost person.
You
know what I'm saying? So
I agree.
Yeah.
But I think if that would be God's playlist, if Moses had lost his tablets, his iPad.
That's right.
I love the little thumbnail.
Yeah.
But well,
I think we said it all.
We
always welcome comments, questions. Please do not send links, though. I'm not opening another link. That one link I opened and it wasn't good. So don't send links to us.
Yes, I mean, that was a perfect example of us showing respect and then getting kind of attacked through a sexual thing. It's kind of shows your character, But we didn't disrespect and retaliate. We just took it down and left our comment.
Person too.
But what do you think? I really want to get into we were going to talk about pedophilia.
Well, how about we end this show? Because I think we said everything.
Okay.
So, but upcoming, we're going to look into pedophilia. You're going to take it from the church side, the Catholic church side. I'm going to look at it from
the clergy,
the government side, and how some high officials are involved in this horrible thing. Yeah, so it's going to be very interesting. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. You have a blessed night, and we will see you in the next video. Bye. God bless you.